And now we're in the kitchen with Chef Andy Schumacher of Cobble Hill, and we are gonna do some cooking with green beans, right? Awesome. What are we gonna make?
So we have a couple dishes for you today. The first one's gonna be a little bit more of a light, summery dish.
Okay.
We're gonna just show you some blanching technique for green beans. I have some nice summer basil. We're gonna make a little basil butter sauce, and then just dress some raw summer vegetables with a little vinaigrette.
It already smells amazing in here.
Yeah.
So, and the water is ready for blanching.
Yes.
So should we get that going?
Yeah. So we're gonna start off by blanching our green beans. I think I have some salt over there.
Yep.
So kind of a couple of things to think about when you're blanching. I always tell people to make the water taste like the ocean. So, you know, for a gallon of water, it's usually about a cup of kosher salt. So this is a little less than a gallon, so I'm just going to put a fair amount in there. And that does kind of scare people sometimes because they feel like there's so much salt, but most of it stays in the water when you throw it out. And the point of it is that when we cook the green beans, they're actually going to absorb some of the salt and season the green beans and really bring out a little bit more of their flavor.
Okay, so don't be afraid to add the salt.
Don't be afraid of the salt. So we're gonna make just a really very simple vinaigrette. I brought this ingredient that I use a lot at the restaurant. It's called yuzu. Yuzu is like a Japanese lemon.
Okay.
And we don't get the actual lemons; they're really expensive, but we can buy bottles of them. If you can't find this or don't have it, you can absolutely just use straight lemon juice. It's
Why do you like it better?
It has like this really awesome, like florally, like piney kind of flavor. It's just a different. I mean, it's definitely citrus and acidic, but it has like an extra layer of like sweetness and brightness.
Okay.
This is just a real simple vinaigrette. Usually with vinaigrettes like this, I do like 2 or 3 parts of oil to 1 part of citrus. And, you know, and for vinaigrettes, you can use vinegar or citrus or whatever you like. If you want to like make this a creamy vinaigrette with like Dijon or something, that's fine too. A little bit of salt, and then we'll just kind of whisk this up, and then we'll kind of get it ready to dress our vegetables with. All right, well, I think the beans are ready. If you want to grab that strainer there.
And this just stops the cooking.
Yep, this just stops the cooking. You know, I've read some different things. Some people will like just to throw them on a sheet tray or like a cookie tray and let them air cool. The only thing about this is if you leave them in the water too long, it will kind of leach some of that salt back out that you spent time getting in it. So if we just kind of get them nice and cooled off quick, and then we can take them out and let them drain, and that should be fine.
Okay. Basil in here next?
Yep, so I'm just gonna drop that in there.
All right.
Yep, maybe like 5-10 seconds, stir, and then bring it out. Awesome. So when you're done with that, what we're gonna do is puree it in the blender.
All right, let's assemble our salad, right?
Let's do it, yeah. So this is just our yuzu vinaigrette. And I'm gonna do a pinch of sugar in there too, because it is quite acidic. And now we're gonna move on to making our basil butter sauce. So we're gonna put the beans into the pan. Start with a little bit of water. We're gonna add a little bit of our basil puree. Okay.
All right.
So what we're gonna do here is turn the heat up. So you wanna make sure it's warm enough where it's just kind of simmering, you know, and going. And we're getting a little bit of simmering on the side.
Okay.
Okay? So I'm just gonna add in some whole butter here, and all you gotta do is just grab it and start, keep it moving is the rule here. And as that butter melts, it will stay emulsified.
All right.
And then, you know, just the other thing, if it gets too cold, it can break. If it gets too hot, it can break. So you just want to kind of keep it at that light simmering thing. We're going there. You're good on heat. And then I'll also add the rest of this butter.
Okay.
And then I'm going to like season it with a little bit of salt. And then once all your butter's melted, we'll taste it, make sure it's warm.
Okay.
And then it'll be ready to plate.
All right.
have the radishes here, some fennel, some tomatoes. And the last thing we'll put on after we have these on is some extra basil leaves. Whenever I think of a dish, I really like to repeat ingredients a lot of times in the garnish. So we spend all, getting this beautiful basil sauce on the plate. And so it'll allow us to take, before we cook and blanch it, we kept some of the most petite little leaves here.
Nice.
That would just be nice to kind of like
an echo of where we started.
Exactly. And then we're ready to try it.
Wonderful. Oh, this looks so beautiful. My goodness. Make sure I get a little bit of everything here.
Yeah.
That's so delicious. The uzu really comes through, which is a really lovely flavor.
Yeah.
And then the basil flavor is really strong, but the butter.
I know. It's like, whoa.
I could drink that stuff.
I know, it's crazy.
Oh my goodness, that's delicious.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, what are we gonna make now?
So we're gonna cook the green beans from their raw state.
Okay.
I think like everyone's kind of used to blanching green beans, and that's kind of a lot of people know that. These are going to go in a pan from raw, and we're going to just start caramelizing them over heat until they get color on them.
Okay.
And then we're going to build like a little stir fry with them together.
All right, that sounds great.
The first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with a little sauce, a Japanese sauce called atare.
Okay.
And it's basically kind of that phrase refers to just kind of a general bumped up soy seasoning sauce. So we have soy in here, mirin, which is rice wine, and a little sake. And if you don't have sake, you can just do soy mirin, and that's fine.
Okay.
We're gonna add a little bit of sugar to it too.
All right.
And we'll just stir that up and get the sugar to dissolve on that.
All right.
And that's gonna be our base for when we coat the beans with this sauce.
All right.
I'm gonna start with a couple tablespoons of oil in that pan. And then we're going to add our green beans to these. Hopefully they're gonna get some brown color on them. Some roasted flavor, and we put this layer in here like this, and we're just gonna let them go.
Okay.
We're just gonna pour this out, and this is pretty much ready to go. So we're gonna let this sauce cool down a little bit before we add the cornstarch to it, and then we'll move on to the next step.
All right, and these beans are
they're looking good.
There, right?
Yeah, so you can see we've got some color on them. They have space to sizzle and move. Don't be afraid to kind of leave them on high heat and get that char on them. That's what we're looking for.
All right, but this is the time to add some more stuff in, right?
Yeah, exactly. So now we have that sliced garlic and ginger that we had.
Okay.
Also want to note we have enough oil in the pan so that when we add the garlic and ginger, it's going to be able to sizzle and get cooked well and infused in that oil.
All right.
So our sauce is here. I'm going to do 3 or 4 tablespoons of this. We'll maybe do like 6 for this.
All right, I'm starting to smell the ginger. That smells fantastic.
And then with that, we'll do a couple teaspoons of cornstarch into here.
All right.
Okay, and then we'll just kind of stir this together until the cornstarch is kind of dissolved here. So now I have these fermented black beans. I'm just going to sprinkle those in there like that. So we'll just add some of our sauce here. All the sauce, actually. And as soon as that starts to boil, I'm going to kill the heat as well, because you can see how thick it's gotten.
Yeah. Oh, it's like a transformation.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, this seems a little thick, so what I have here is a little bit of water. And I'm just going to add a little water to thin this out. And then re-simmer it until it's kind of where we want it to be. So now I think we're ready to plate.
Awesome.
I really like the darkness of it and the umami. It really kind of goes well with the green beans. So we're gonna finish it with some sesame
and I think
seeds.
this is one of those dishes that people would be maybe a little intimidated by trying to make at home.
Yeah.
But that was really simple.
Yeah, it's
that
really
was terrific.
easy. And you can even have that kind of combined and ready to go in the fridge, so this could be a really fast dish.
So you could do it every night.
Exactly.
All right, let's try this.
Try 'em.
Yeah. Oh, that's really delicious. And the beans still have a little bit of a bite to them, which is wonderful. The sauce does just glaze them and add a little bit of sweetness and depth.
Yeah.
That is delicious.
Thank you.
Chef Andy, thank you so much.
Thank you. Wonderful.